This video tutorial is all about 360s and the nuances of the shoulders. Never have too many videos about 360 swings. I want to just reiterate the importance of priming the shoulders. So I'm going to begin today's video with an open chain mobility drill that I use for my clients and for myself to really help prevent shoulder impingement. So impingement is when the humerus bone drives up into the bursa because there's not enough mobility or range of motion or room to actually move the shoulder in its natural range of motion. So a real simple way to work through that would be to come up to a wall and start to move your arm in a full 360-degree circle, keeping the elbow completely straight, finding full fascial tension and reaching all the way around. Now, your goal is to not scrape the wall in any way and to allow your hand to rotate back as the hand is behind you and the hand to rotate down towards your leg as you come through. So if I was to do this without the wall, it looks like this. So you can do backward circles, you can do forward circles. Notice the moment of rotation here. So I'm not just keeping the arm static the whole time. I have to actually rotate out like I'm turning a key, then reach up, then reach forward. Palm faces the leg, palm faces out, palm faces in. And then over time, I can start to integrate that through. So ideally you do about 5 to 10 repetitions on either side. Let's just say 10 forward, 10 back, and then eventually you can move in a figure 8 pattern across the body and back. So imagine just painting a big 8 and moving through the frontal plane and the sagittal plane. So just for good measure, I'm gonna do my other side as well. So we've got our backward circles, and I'll abbreviate and just do about 5 reps or so. Notice how I'm holding my body in a really solid structure. So my glutes are turned on. You're gonna feel some little motion. If you have tight shoulders, you're gonna feel some kind of crunchiness back there is the best way to describe it. And pause when you reach that crunchiness, stay with full fascial tension and move through, and over time, you're gonna start to shave off the immobility in that shoulder. This shoulder I actually dislocated doing a circus performance trick, so I can feel some clunkiness inside of there, and you might have some clunkiness as well, just depending on what type of injuries you've had. So once your shoulders are primed, then you're ready for your casting progressions. So we've got our club bell. Here's the 5-pound club. So in a casting progression, we can do it single-handed. So you can go outside circle, outside and inside, just so that your shoulder can map how it's supposed to move. So you can keep your arm 90 degrees, moving into back position, and then side flag, back position, into prayer. Back position, side flag, back position, prayer. And then you can progress up to a 7-pound steel mace. So it's important when you're doing 360s to have a relaxed grip, and I even recommend starting with a piece of wood like a dowel or a broom just to really map out the whole trajectory or the path of the mace. So let's go into a bit of nuance here. So in a clean 360 swing, top hand indicates direction of the swing. So first we go through our block phase. The mace will travel up just slightly and you're wielding the leverage of the globe. And then you've got your dump and then your pull. So notice, if I was doing this from the side, it's as if I'm between 2 panes of glass. I block my skull, I dump and relax the wrist, and then I pull it into position. Block, dump, and pull. So the nuance here, if your mace, the force of the mace goes down first, it's gonna change the whole trajectory of the swing. So really important that this globe goes in a clean 180-degree pattern from the back corner of the room, 45 degrees back, block, dump, and then when it rises up to that highest point here, that's when you wanna start to do that pulling action. And we'll switch sides. Again, block, dump, and dumping just means like drop the wrists below the nape of the neck here versus keeping them up high. You see the difference? If I try to keep my hands up here, I'm not getting that relaxation in the downswing. So a little practice goes a long way. Definitely recommend Start with like 25 repetitions on either side, build up to 50 repetitions either side. Every time you start your practice, like start with your warm-ups, your joint mobility, and then go right into your 360 swings when you're starting to really refine it. And then as you transition to a heavier mace, I'm actually gonna get my stuff out of the way here because I'm gonna do some pretty dynamic movement today. Excited to show you. So I'm gonna show you how you can first swing a 10-pound mace. It's definitely, the leverage is a lot different here. So I've got my block, it's gonna be a lot shorter, a short block phase. So block, dump, pull. Same trajectory, but I just have a longer apparatus. Block, dump, pull, block, dump, pull. So let's look at the nuance of my shoulders and my thoracic spine rotating. So I can do it with a lot of action in my shoulders, block, dump, pull. I can isolate and be really still and have very little motion in my thoracic spine. Or I can have the sweet spot of being just shock absorbent. So I can have a little bit of rotation, lots of stability, a little thoracic rotation, and lots of eccentric load. And then switch sides. So one thing that helps me coach my students is teaching about the different elements of the swing. So as you're practicing the swing, hopefully you're doing it with me right now, think of the time during your swing phase that you feel most at ease. Is it the block? Is it the swing? Is it the pull? Which zone or which portion of your swing do you feel most at ease, most connected, and most trust? So this is tuning into our somatic sense of how much we trust our body to move this giant object through space. Then where's the area or the portion of your swing where you feel the most in a state of fear or not trusting? So is it that swing part? A lot of times when folks first start swinging the mace, they might kind of duck forward like this. I've seen that misalignment where they're kind of pitching forward and like hyperextending the back, and then all of that force goes into the low back. So if that's happening for you, choke up on the mace, block, dump, and pull, and find that relaxation in the back phase. You can also play with bringing the mace in front of you, having a relaxed grip. Try not to death grip the mace, try not to white knuckle it. And you can practice like swinging the mace all the way up and then shock absorb. Swing down, swing up, shock absorb. Swing down, swing up, and stack. You can try that in the other direction. Just getting comfortable with your hands moving along the mace. It takes quite a bit of grip strength at first to get comfortable with that action. But don't be married to just one motion. Like it's not just one motion. The fingers are really relaxed as you swing. So once you've worked out your 360 swing, let's put that into a few different movements. So you've got your 360 into a squat where the bottom hand captures and chokes the globe. You can come to a solar plexus position here, find a hip hinge, stand up, squeeze the glutes, and then stack the hands. So you're alternating sides. 360 swing, bottom hand catches, squat, and stack. Integrate the breath. Stack. Always find that order position, nice and tall, shoulders packed, keeping the shoulders in a neutral scapula position. Block, down, pull, bottom hand catches. When I start to do these quickly, it looks like this. So I'm kind of like gliding my hand from the bottom of the mace. You can kind of hear it. So I'm gliding the hand all the way down versus another variation, which would be, I've seen people plop it. Get away from the plop. Find the leverage through the entire motion. So that's one exercise you can integrate a 360 swing with. Another fun one, you can take a slightly wider stance. You've got 360. Bottom hand reaches up, thumb faces down. Bring the mace across the body, coming all the way to the other side into an uppercut lunge or a pivot lunge, and then restack. Block, dump, pull. Bottom hand reaches up, pivot, working on ankle stability and that rotational speed. So a couple different variations. You've got your static pivot lunge, integrating 360. Here, seeing that the legs are 90 degrees. That moment when the mace travels across the center line, that's the key right there. That's when the core and the obliques, internal obliques turn on. And then you want to synchronize, watch, as the hand goes past the hip, quick hip turnover, okay? If you want to perform a pivot lunge traveling, block, dump, pull, pivot lunge, step back, block, dump, pull, pivot lunge, step back. It's all about the footwork here, building that trust, wielding the mace with confidence, working the whole body synergistically. One more. Block, dump, pull, pivot lunge, stick it, pull it back, stamp the feet. Play with different breathing types as well. Chugging breath, inhale through nose, exhale through mouth. 2 more exercises integrating a 360 swing. Block, dump, pull, bottom hand catches, lateral lunge. Outside leg is 45 degrees. Mace goes directly beneath the shoulder here. Rip, crush. Imagine bending the mace in half over the thigh. Stack, block, dump, pull, bottom hand catches, lift, lateral lunge, and stack. This stacked position is really important. We're working on parallel feet and really communicating with your entire body that this upright stance is your new normal. It's your new neutral spine. Block, dump, pull, lateral lunge, stack, block, dump, pull, step out, lateral lunge, and stack. So there's this kind of soothing moment where every time you come to that stacked warrior stance, your body's like, yes, nervous system, I'm balanced for a moment. I know how to stand up tall. I can keep my eyes tracking on the horizon. I'm competent with my tool. So we're really looking to train that feedback in the nervous system. Chugging breath, inhale, and exhale. Last exercise, we'll switch it out for a still mace vinyasa exercise. Warrior 2 lunge to skandasana. Take a reverse guard position, lift the leg, open out, land in your warrior 2 position. Shift the weight into the back leg, come into 2-handed flag, skandasana, into warrior 2. Skandasana, press the mace out to 2-handed flag, angle your mace globe towards you just a little bit, find your depth, drive out of that back leg, press up. Option for drop swing. Play with it, make it a little more complex. Single-handed swings can really be freeing and also help build that shoulder mobility as well. Landing in warrior 2. And then switch sides. Find your landmarks. So you've got your reverse guard position here, pack the shoulders. Notice my entry. First the leg lifts, then it externally rotates. Combine those 2 actions together. Lift, externally rotate, land, hit it. Find your warrior 2, lunge. Shift the weight into the back leg, find your skandasana. Press the mace up and overhead, hit your warrior 2 lunge, and then skandasana. Make it a little more complex when you're ready. Option for drop swing into skandasana or attacker's pose. Notice your spine muscles coming alive. Notice how every repetition you have the opportunity to release shoulder immobility or impingement. Last one. So what would happen if we put all those movements together? That's when we elicit a flow state response. So I'm going to make a separate video specifically showing how to integrate all of those movements into a state of flow and seamless somatic experience.